Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're dissecting the anatomy of what can only be described as a literal World Cup miracle. We're talking about that completely unbelievable clash between Belgium and Senegal at Lumen Field in Seattle. This was a game that totally defied the odds, and honestly, it's going to go down in the tournament's history books for sure.
Right, so let's dive right into this with a single, absolutely crucial number, 125. That is the exact minute the latest goal in World Cup history was scored to seal this match. I mean, just imagine playing for over 2 hours of grueling, high-stakes tournament football and having the whole shebang hinge on one single moment deep into stoppage time of extra time. But to really understand how we even got to that unprecedented 125th minute, we kind of have to hit rewind.
Section 1, Senegal shocks the world, the first 60 minutes.
For the first hour, Senegal didn't just survive against the favored Belgians. They absolutely dominated. And they did this without their star goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy, who was out with a knee injury. At 25 minutes, Habib Diarra scores the opening goal. Then, at the 32-minute mark, things got completely bizarre. We had pitch invaders disrupt the play, requiring like a dozen security guards to sort it out, while Belgium's Maxime de Cuyper literally just stood there holding the ball. Play eventually resumes, and at 51 minutes, Ismaïla Sarr scores a stunning goal to make it 2-0. Belgium looked so lost that just 5 minutes later, they made the desperate call to sub off their main attackers, Kevin De Bruyne and Jeremy Doku.
We really need to talk about Sarr's goal, his fourth of the tournament. It was a total masterpiece. He brought down a long ball from Moussa Nakate with a flawless chest touch and just fired it past Thibaut Courtois. Actually, if Courtois hadn't pulled off 3 massive saves right after that, Senegal would have completely run away with the game.
Section 2. The improbable late rally. Living on borrowed time.
So fast forward to the 85th minute. Senegal's up 2-0. Things are looking incredibly bleak for Belgium, and the game feels entirely wrapped up. Senegal's coach Pape Thiaut summed up the harsh reality of knockout football perfectly after the match. He said, "A football match is not an 85-minute one. Belgium came back, and we were not able to deal with that." It really highlights how fast control can just vanish.
Because in the 86th minute, boom. Substitute Romelu Lukaku, Belgium's all-time top scorer, smashes the ball into the back of the net, 2-1. Bringing him off the bench was an absolute masterstroke, and the energy in Seattle just instantly flipped.
And then, literally 3 minutes later, in the 89th minute, the unthinkable happens. Youri Tielemans finds a miraculous equalizer. In about 3 minutes of game time, Belgium completely erased an hour and a half of Senegalese dominance and forced extra time. Just wild.
Section 3. The 125th minute penalty. Extra time drama. So both teams had to grind through another 30 minutes of exhausting football. Here's exactly how that final, dramatic sequence played out. Right before the 30 minutes of extra time expire, a foul occurs. The referee halts play, goes to the monitor for a thorough VAR review, and awards a penalty to Belgium. Tielemans steps up, converts the penalty in the 125th minute, and the whistle blows shortly after. Belgium secures their spot in the round of 16.
It was an incredibly tense conclusion. When asked about the penalty, Senegal coach Pape Thiaut was remarkably stoic. He said, "I do not want to interpret the decision. We all have different interpretations. I'd rather not comment, not interpreting the referee's decision. It was a very solemn, heartbreaking moment, and he chose not to criticize the officials or take sides, just acknowledging the painful finality of it all."
Section 4. Echoes of tournaments past. Colliding destinies.
This match wasn't just a thriller in a vacuum. It felt like history repeating itself for both squads. For Belgium, this practically mirrored their 2018 World Cup run, where they erased a 2-0 deficit against Japan to win 3-2 in this exact same round. But for Senegal, it was a tragic repeat of recent trauma. Just this past January in the 2026 AFCON, they dealt with late penalty drama, a ruled-out goal, scuffles, and ultimately a 3-0 defaulted loss to Morocco. So this is the second time this year they've been gutted by a late penalty in a massive game.
To put Belgium's comeback into perspective, in the last 11 World Cups, trailing by 2 or more goals in a knockout game and coming back to win has only happened exactly twice. And guess what? Both of those instances belong to Belgium. 2018 against Japan, and now 2026 against Senegal. It's a sheer statistical improbability that proves just how resilient this team is.
We also have to give massive credit to the paths these teams walked. Senegal survived an absolutely brutal group, advancing against the likes of France and Erling Haaland's Norway. Meanwhile, Belgium won their group with 5 points, dodging another disastrous group stage exit like they had in Qatar in 2022. Now they're moving on in Seattle. So looking ahead, Belgium will face either the USA or Bosnia-Herzegovina on Monday. They are riding a historic, unbelievable wave of momentum right now, which leaves us with one big question. Given their habit of achieving the impossible, can anyone actually stop Belgium in this tournament?